I liked it. I liked that. It was like an attention grabber. That was good, Pepe. You're doing good. Pepe, can we have the sequence roll a little bit faster? I don't feel like the doors app. They just, is there an app for those doors to make it go faster to get into the show? I just feel like it's a little slow, you know, like I want to speed it up. Hi, welcome to the Inside Star Citizen Review. This is a show that we've been doing for at least 25 years. Welcome aboard. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you're not here like these amazing ladies and gentlemen here, mostly gentlemen. In fact, our analytics show that we have a 99.8% audience of males. Only 0.2% of a woman watches the show. Thank you, Dark Spike. I appreciate those biddies. We are going to be raising money for my shades to save myself from sight tonight. So there may be some alerts here tonight for, you know, your viewing pleasure. They're interesting alerts. So don't bitch about that. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, what we'd like to do is you can push the little thing that looks like a thumb, but it's not. I won't tell you what it is. But I hear it does help the channel out. Either one, really. I mean, go for it. It won't offend me if you push the other one. They're both sexual in nature. All right. Only 8 minutes and 58 seconds of a show tonight. The Inside Star Citizen Review, we don't like anything under 11 minutes. We've said it 6 to 7 times now. This season has brought us the shortest episodes ever of the Inside of Inside Star Citizen, which is a show that is brought to us by subscriber money. So we are raising our pitchforks and our torches, which we can do this and be, you know, like we're at a concert, like, you know, we could do that, but we're not. Because, you know, that's really bullshit. Just get a lighter and burn your finger like everybody else did. Because it's cooler and it's more metal than doing what I just did, which nobody wants to do that. Nobody appreciates that. Anyway, just like nobody appreciates phones replacing lighters at concerts, we also don't appreciate when these shows are under 11 minutes. So let's watch this. I am not drunk like many people are saying in chat. This is how I naturally am. And for hardcore members that have been here with this channel for a very long time, they understand that. They respect the crazy and they don't criticize or make fun of the host like some people live here tonight.
At the team, we will always wanted to make the derelict more enjoyable and fun for the player. The new addition of the planetary nav mesh make the designer able to put life on the location.
Before it was just kind of a ship just there on the ground, but what we wanted to do is to create a link between the ship and environment around.
Oh no. They're turning Star Citizen into Second Life? I hate that game. I played that for a little bit. It's filled with crazy preverts and furry people. Oh, God.
We decided to make them more like a settlement, to have like more story around them.
Wow,
it's like walking in the woods and just sometimes you just found their old cars all rusty there with the leaves and the trees all around. That's the kind of feeling we wanted to do with the lyrics.
For us designer, a lot of opportunity to make the location more FPS friendly with cover.
That was the most monochromatic shot live shot of anybody in the Inside Star Citizen series ever. This was all black and white. Even the guy who's speaking has black and white hair. Like everything is monochromatic here. Can we get the monochromatic applause award to Cyril Big Nun? Cyril Big Nun. A lot of women are disappointed in his last name, but he does match his colors.
The location more FPS friendly with cover, more like mission friendly, so we can add stuff on top of that.
When you will arrive at the crash, you will see a big trail on the ground. So if you look behind the ship, you will see all the big tree, but in the trail, all the trees will be small, and we're going to have just small rocks and grass, and it's the purpose the ship was there. When you go back in the ship, because you will be able to go back in the ship, you will rediscover the ship as you were before, but in an older version. That tell a lot of story about the old technology, kind of giving a second life to the ship. We got an update on the planetary nav mesh now on the planet, so we are allowed to put AI on the ground.
Putting NPC in this location that are park here, trying to take the best of the location, scavenging for resources.
So when you will arrive there, you will feel that some people living there since a long time. That's going to give you a feeling that all that place around is just kind of habitated by some people. The mission we're going to do on those ships, if it's a hostile mission, we're going to have some kind of faction there. It's living there, we just took.
All right, I want to say something right now. I want very similarly what we saw here on this path that this ship had obviously crash landed in. Let's look at it. Let's see here. Where's it at? Let's see. Where is it at? Damn it. There was a giant path that you could see where the ship had crash landed. There you go. This. I want this to happen naturally. Am I the only one out there that actually wants this to happen to player ships? Like where, like very similar, like, oh, I can hear it now. People are pissed off. Like, DG, that you could never do that. That's not true. Unreal Engine 5 has a particular engine, like a chaos. It's called Chaos, I believe. And Unreal Engine 5 has their physics engine like Chaos, I believe. It's called Unreal Engine Chaos. And what it does is it's a physics engine, and it enables physics involving like surfaces, you know? And so like anytime impacts or something happens on the physics grid, like it affects the terrain. Very cool. We showed it here on the channel quite a long time ago. And I want this to happen naturally with player ships when they land. I want things to happen to this, and I want aging. I want there to be a biome around the ship until it's completely salvaged out, and then eventually it just disappears so it's not left on the server and causes congestion, even with dynamic server meshing. Now, a lot of people are raising their hands up and pissed off and going to explain to me how that's not going to be possible. And I've heard people like this all my life throughout this project that raise their hands up and say, this is impossible, DG. You can't do that. That's not the game. I'm looking for like these other dolts that do this. Like the dolts that do this are the same dolts that did it when they said, "Oh, we can't have dynamic, or we can't have dynamic weather. We can't have, so many different types of things that has happened along the way that's proven these dolts wrong." Then what ends up happening is, I say something like this and saying this would be great if this just happened naturally, and somebody blows up. Because they're like, oh, no, you can't do. What are you talking about, DG? That's impossible. Well, it's not really, because it already exists. Like I said, Unreal Engine, Chaos. This technology already exists, and I want to see it in this game because Star Citizen. Because Star Citizen.
All that place around is just kind of habitated by some people. The mission we're going to do on those ships, if it's a hostile mission, we're going to have some kind of faction there. It's living there, we'll just take control of the ship. And it's not a hostile mission, it's going to be a different kind of faction.
we see all the feedback
Hold
we
on. We
receive.
got to do the shame bell. We got to do the shame bell for Fingers before he goes. His wife is dragging him off, and he cannot stand up and be a man. So we're just going to shame him here real quick. Thank you. Thank you, Pepe. Shame Fingers as he leaves. Slink back to your wife and cook her dinner and do all the chores. All right, thank you. Back to the show.
On January, when we start like showing the concept of the derelict settlement with the AI team for the planetary nav mesh and all the team in Turbulent, we was able to create a habitation module. We have tools now to be able to generate and procedurally place all this work on the planet.
Orson, yeah, I do too.
It's just the beginning of the long-term plan that we have in mind to populate and add more and more location in the PU.
And I'm super proud of my team to doing that with the design team, the art team. We worked super hard, pretty proud of it, and I'm sure that people will enjoy it.
Looks fantastic, but let's be real here. Let's have a real talk right now. Do you want them designing wrecks like this all over the surfaces of the numerous satellites and planets that are going to be out there? I mean, like, really? Then how? It's a lot. It's a time sink. You know, why not just have something naturally occur like this, then draw these in? Sure, you want to do some like monumental areas, have 2 or 3 per planet, right? Got it. Cool. But like, why not just why just not let it happen naturally and design it that way? Because it's eventually it's less time. It's less of a time sink, you know? This is something that is very possible to do. Like, it is something very possible to do. And like, I might even put a shame bell out there for Cloud Imperium for not thinking of this. You know, I don't hear any talk about this from Star Citizen Lives. I don't hear any talk about this from any of the devs. They're drawn in, and I'm not trying to negate the work of the artists here either. They're doing great work. It looks fantastic, you know, but I want to make sure this is naturally occurring and player, you know, created through physics, you know.
Thanks, guys.
The new inhabited derelict settlement for 317.2 is not the only one that will be present in this patch. We will let the player discover them and find them in the universe.
The crashed reclaimer derelict settlements are just one of the new mission-enabled, gameplay-focused environments from Turbulent arriving in the upcoming Alpha 317.2. And we encourage you to explore the Stanton system and find additional ones on your own. Hint, some of them are still floating out in space. And when you're done exploring,
I mean, like, I think Heartsy in my eyes, and you know, like, I respect your opinion, Heartsy, you're a cool dude, but like, that is a gameplay loop to me. You know, like, this happening naturally, you know, these wrecks that would happen naturally through player crashes or fights that would happen naturally, it is a game loop because that's salvaging. So people go down there, they salvage it out until there's nothing but the husk, and who knows, maybe you can do something with the husk too. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it is a game loop that can be put in, and it's worth working on to me. But of course, you know, right now, this very year, work is being done and focused on Squadron 42 in 3 areas. The AI, they got to work on the AI. They got to work on the flight experience. And they also have to look a lot at the overall system designs on the systems that are going to be involved with Squadron 42. So there's going to be a certain amount of systems that have to at least be partially set up so that you can fly into the systems in the Squadron 42 campaign, and that will translate over to the PU. So those are the 3 areas that we're going to see a lot of work. We're already seeing it. We're already seeing tons of work in that regards. And the gameplay loops that are being put in, like the fueling and salvaging that will be here. The medic gameplay is already put in. A lot of these elements of game design are in there now because of Squadron 42, you know? Right. I'm agreeing with you there. Heartsy say, I fully agree, but it shouldn't come before repair, hospital, ship salvage, etc. Right. So if we get naturally occurring derelicts, maybe they can find a way to put loot boxes in there. Yeah, I mean, like, that's another thing, you know, or maybe not even just loot boxes, say whatever the fuck they were carrying. You know what I'm saying, Billy? Perhaps it was a ship that was carrying a shit ton of Dolvine, or, you know, who knows, like a particular type of Quantanium, or, you know, it could be anything that they were carrying that survives the wreck, right? The physics should take care of what survives and what doesn't. And Unreal Engine Chaos can do that to a degree. There's a lot of coding that's going to have to work, that's going to have to come in on the back end of that in order to give us an experience that is seamless. But baby steps, like I'd say tier 0 implementation of an Unreal Engine Chaos would give us the ability to have these things happen naturally. B-Spar says, hey, B-Spars, how you doing? B-Spar says, I think there was a mention by SIG on player ships persisting for the salvage loop. Yes, they did mention that. Yes, on the 4.0 server work, right. They did mention that. You are absolutely right. But when they said that, B-Spars, I'm not quite sure if they were talking about how if ships crashing or getting in a fight on a planet or satellite would happen naturally, and they would account for, you know, what it is that we're talking about, you know. Dynamic wrecks, let's call it that, because nobody's really talked about this. I don't, you know, of course, you're on DG 360, so we're talking about things that not a lot of any of the channels ever talk about, because we like to theory craft this stuff. It's why we got popular in the first place here. Tech says some salvage missions to clean up the polygon hit would be fun too. Right. Like there could be a whole bunch of like gameplay loops added to naturally occurring wrecks. There could be a timer put on these wrecks that eventually will get popped out of existence after a certain amount of time frame. But I'd even like the fauna to grow over these wrecks. So like I would like there to be a certain amount of time that these wrecks exist for. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Put a number on it, put a timer on it, end a story after a certain time and get it off the goddamn servers. Because I think that even with it, when server meshing comes online 100%, that it would cause too many problems to have all these things be persistent till players strip it. Some aren't even going to be worth looking at, you know. It's all about value, intrinsic value, and how time versus reward, right? Are you going to salvage a little piece, a little PP ship, you know? No. You're probably going to let it sit there. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of ships that have to pop out of existence because nobody's found it or nobody's touching it, you know, for those reasons. I think it should. I don't give a flip about hospitals. I want more missions to do, says Explodo. Some salvage missions to clean up the okay, yeah. Surgery is a mission. Do you think the plethora of mini games that SE is slowly becoming will be boring as shit after a short time? I don't think so, Damon. I mean, I think there will be a degree of it, right? It's somewhere in the middle. You know, so for Damon's question, he's asking about these types of mini games that are being applied to certain specializations, like mining, for instance, and the new mining packs and everything. You know, or I mean, because you can look at mining and you can really break it down into kind of like a mini game experience, you know, with all the items that are out there. You get it, Damon? So I think there's a level at which it becomes too absurd, but I do like that each specialization has depth to it. So like, I don't mind it if the mini game itself is something that sets you apart differently from another person in your profession. For instance, you could have a miner that only particularly knows how to mine in a ship, and a prospector. You could have a miner that really only knows how to mine, you know, with the handheld miner. You know, there's going to be like people that gravitate to a certain aspect of their profession, and you're going to have people that know it all. Right. And those are the ones that are going to get paid more. It's real life. You know, it's real life. Like you're going to pay the person more if they know everything about what it is that they do, you know? So very good questions. I love the chat in here right now. I really love in the chat. Maybe they only exist till they've been fully salvaged. Yeah. Like I talked about that, Heartsy. Yeah. They are already building in a nanite, or there's a timer. So two instances, Heartsy. If it's fully salvaged, or if there's a timer, is kind of how I'm going about these dynamic wrecks, right? I don't know. I don't know, Damon. You know, like Damon says, SIG is spending shitloads of time of little gameplay loops that will be fun all of 10 minutes. You could say that about just about any game, right? I mean, there's so many games out there that have like that type of gameplay to it that you couldn't fathom that people would do. But look at Eve. Look at the crazy amounts of people that just hit their mining lasers and let their barges sit out there, and that was their night. Look at the amount of organizations in EVE Online that were mining organizations that literally just got their retrievers and their orcas and all their mining barges together to hit their mining lasers to sit out there, drink a few brews with everybody, and talk on Discord all night. You know, right? I mean, like, I don't know, Damon. You know, like, I think every game has that. Honestly, you know. There will also be people that mow virtual lawns as well. That was crazy to me. That was crazy. The lawnmower simulator tech. I know exactly what you're talking about, you know. All right, let's keep going.
Fine citizens of Orison will need your help when the newest dynamic event pits the dreaded Ninetails against Crusader security forces. Now, while we'd prefer you discover most of the details for yourself on the PTU and live servers, we do have a brief introduction to perhaps the biggest and most elaborate mission in Star Citizen yet.
Siege of Orison is an event where we take away all of your most overpowered toys, which are your ships. You actually have to use your reactions and your guns and your teammates to hopefully survive this perilous encounter.
We wanted to do what for FPS combat we did for ship combat with Xenothreat, push it to its extremes. So without spoiling the event, the Siege of Horizon is a dynamic event which takes place around Horizon on some floating platforms owned by Crusader, and, you know, we shuttle players in to help out Crusader take back their islands.
When we was making the mission, we wanted to, first of all, we wanted to make a fun mission that pulled people in together to play together, you know, experience something they might not have normally.
In most missions, you go up against 10 AI, and you really don't get challenged.
A lot of our missions do a lot of hand-holding, where we mark everything for the player, and, you know, they can sort of disengage to a level and just, like, walk to a marker and, you know, presume the rest of it. This one I wanted to kind of go, right, here's no markers, now think and try figure it out for yourself.
The event is primarily a PvE mission. There are systems in place to discourage PvP.
It's not something we protect against because we want the players to protect themselves from it. We're not...
Slow-mo time.
We protect against because we want the players to protect themselves from it. We're not discouraging it.
Dude, it's exactly what I want from the developers. It's exactly what I want to hear. This is why I love these shows, man. It shows you the passion behind keeping that mission statement, which is keeping the danger in Star Citizen. They're like, hey, take care of it yourself and put on the big boy pants. If you're going to go in this area, sure, we'll try and do what we can to discourage it, but realize you're in a combat zone. Whether it's PvE or PvP, you're going to be there, so you're going to have to deal with it. Put on the big boy pants, or go if you don't like it. Just go. Like, get away from it. But there always should be a level of, you know, we're in infancy form with security. I can't say it enough. There's going to... You know, in the defense of PvEers, right? Eventually, there'll be like a net where they're gonna be able to, you know, be in some type of secure area or be semi-secure to where they feel good. But there's never gonna be a moment where they're like 100% like nobody's gonna kill me. That's the type of game that I like. And you're creating a natural filter to take away the crybabies, to push the crybabies out. We got adults playing this game or kids that have an adult mindset that can actually handle consequences. Go figure, you know? We used to call this gaming. Like, this is what we grew up in, and you deal with it. Deal with it, man. It's fun. People don't understand that is fun. That, like there are people out there that are not understanding what I'm explaining right now. They're like, DG, like there needs to be really safe areas. Safe, completely safe. In an MMO, right? In an MMO, okay, where you have this many type of game loops and gameplay, all this type of gameplay, you want to make sure that you're keeping it dangerous. It's called player retention. You're keeping people in because it's exciting. And we're going to watch that tonight at the after party. We're going to watch situations where people are playing the game and they encounter people and they're like, holy shit, that's a person. I just killed a gamer, or a gamer just came in and tried to do something. This wasn't AI. And they're blown away by it. They're blown away by it. Like it's brand new in gaming. They're blown away. Thank you. I mean, you will watch tonight at the after party. Sorry, YouTubers. You got to get here live to enjoy the after party. You don't get to see the after party, but the after party is a lot of fun. And we're going to watch this, and you're going to see people genuinely surprised that they got shot or that they shot other gamers. And we're like, oh, I wasn't even expecting this. What is this? And they were fascinated with it. And you could hear in their voice, it was intoxicating. It brought them back. It was addictive. It's player retention. And it's gaming. It's hardcore gaming. People are mind blown by it.
But we're not actively supporting it yet.
There's a lot of new spaces we've made for Horizon,
great,
and
Artsy.
working with design on the block out, and still making sure it's all in keeping with what Horizon is.
And Tech, right? Tech, who I know is a miner and a PvEer primarily, he says, but there will be safe spaces. Isn't Terra supposed to be super lawful? They will get their space. Yes. So as the security system develops, yes, you will have a relative area of safety. Yes. And we'll see the security evolve, right? Right now, it's really tier 0, tier 1. Let's call it tier 1.5. Security is it's kind of a mess right now. But it does what it needs to do in its own special way, and it's going to get better. It's going to get better.
We looked at expanding the visual library of Horizon.
Astro Chronicles,
what we
I
really
didn't
liked
even
was
know
the
you were here,
contrast
buddy.
of this kind
Have
of
a good night,
idyllic,
man.
Relaxing garden platforms
What's up,
floating
Leaf? How you
around,
doing?
and this kind of battle
How
scarred,
you doing, buddy?
damage and things like that adding
Didn't
to
even see
them.
you
So
here either. I'm busy
it was
preaching.
a lovely kind
My
of
friends are
contrast to
here.
put in.
We don't normally have content of this scale.
The main challenge, or the main challenges, were performance. By moving it far enough away from the center, the city of Horizon, we managed to avoid most of that.
Having this here helped to improve and push performance because we found issues and we was able to quickly fix them. The experience I hope players get is enjoyment. Mostly, I want players to feel fun and create emergent stories with their friends that they can, tell on Reddit or through videos and whatever. Just to have fun, really.
I want them to see all the effort that has gone into healing and gunplay and AI over the years that you may not notice fighting against a small amount of people.
Events in general are great because they pull people who might not play with each other.
Good, man. Doing great, Leaf. It's good to see you here. Yeah, we're talking about a safe system. Eventually, where's the safe system going to be? We're going to call it Safeidia. It's like chlamydia, but safe. Safeidia. And in Safeidia, this is the sound that you will hear in Safeidia. Because that is the fun that you will have in Safeidia. Totally safe. You cannot even get a paper cut in Safeidia. It is impossible to get a paper cut in the system labeled Safeidia. It is happening probably by 4.0. Safeidia.
Together, you all feel like this comradeship trying to push forward against this enemy that you all have in common.
It's an experience unlike any other in this game.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that those fantastic derelict concepts we showcased earlier this year are already making their way to the persistent universe, and that they're coming along with new missions and gameplay made possible by the new dynamic planetary nav mesh, and that the Siege of Orison is the next big step forward toward
The new dynamic planetary nav mesh. Thank you. Is there a GPS system or at least a compass that comes with this? I need to do some reading apparently and catch up. I need it. We need it. We watched, who was it? Captain Burks try and find his way around Microtech without the assistance of anything, just by looking at mountains. And we thought to ourselves while watching it, like, definitely there should be a compass or something, you know?
towards bringing additional gameplay to Star Citizen's existing landing zones. Now, don't forget, there are a number of contests going on for both Alien Week and our upcoming Battle of the Bricks, which will see the community teams from both Star Citizen and EVE Online come together in a live stream on July 22nd to...
Wait, what? What? Did they do something with Pearl Abyss? Oh no, Cloud Imperium. Did you just sign your soul to the devil? Wait, hold on.
Star Citizen and EVE Online come together in a live...
Hold on. I have to slow this up.
By the new dynamic planetary nav mesh, and that the Siege of Orison is the next big step forward towards bringing additional gameplay to Star Citizen's existing landing zones.
Right.
Now, don't forget, there are a number of contests going on for both Alien Week and our upcoming Battle of the Bricks, which will see the community teams from both Star Citizen and EVE Online come together in a live stream on July 22nd to raise money for charity. You can learn all about both of those things on the robertspaceindustriescom website.
All right.
We're inside
What's
Star
the
Citizen.
Battle of the
I'm
Bricks?
Jared Huckabee. This is
Lego
the very
competition?
noisy 9th floor of the
cool.
Manchester Goods Yard building, soon to be home for our Manchester
That's cool,
studio.
that's cool.
And what goes in the center here, where all this noise is? It's going to be something to see when the time comes. We'll see you all next week.
All right. Wait.
Amanda, just use whichever one of these has the least interruptions. We're not going to get this clean.
We're not gonna get this clean. That's a meme. That's a meme right there. Like, can we meme Jared right here and just put "we're not going to get this clean"? Can we get that? Oh, Jared.
Pardon me. Fish tacos.
Yeah, that's good shit. That's pretty funny. He's got his humor. He certainly does. Now listen, if you're watching this right now on YouTube and you're not here for the fun, you need to get your ass over here and watch me live. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. EDT is when we have the Inside Star Citizen review. We want you to push the like button. We want you to comment. We'd like to hear what you have to say about the show, about what we saw, about our ideas, about the live discussion we had here tonight. And for those of you live that are here, get ready because we are going to get into party mode. Oh, God, it's so much fun. We're going to make everybody on YouTube completely jealous. Hey, people on YouTube, I bet you wish you were live with us, don't you? I bet you wish you were live. You're gonna miss the party, I said, thank you, Pepe. Anyway, let's get over to the party and let's do it.